Hi, everybody. Welcome to Heart Talks. Namaste.
Namaste.
Today, my guest is Tracy Lee, and she's a medical intuitive healer for pets and people. And welcome to Heart Talks.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so medical intuitive healer. I've really not heard those three put together. Can you tell me what that means?
So it is a two-part process, which means that the medical intuitive part means that I like to look at photographs and I do a medical scan to see what pops out as being trouble areas. That's the intuitive part. And in the healer, I actually heal those areas using various methods.
So do you actually work in a clinic or of some kind?
I do not have a clinic as of now. I'm doing mainly distance work, actually people all around the world.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, all right, let's back the train up because my guests like to hear how I like to show people how you became to know that you were even a healer. Can I tell us
Sure.
a little bit about that?
About 2 years ago, I went through a very traumatic time in my life, and it was, I know, it sounds like everybody's story, but
I know. It's how it is.
It was super traumatic, and it sent me into this kind of spiritual headspin, and it was a little dark for a while, but when I came out of it, that's when I kind of realized what I was really meant to be doing.
And like prior to that, did you know about healing?
I've been exposed to it a little bit. I've known some personal friends that have been into more spiritual stuff, but this was the first time. I mean, my awakening happened like boom, hard and fast.
Wow, that's great. So you really didn't have any idea this was coming on at all?
No idea at all.
I love hearing that because there are some of us who had to really work our way up to it. And I want people to know that, yeah, you can wake up and you're like somebody else.
Completely different person. I used to be an athlete, and all I really cared about was working out, going to the gym, like my muscles and my next competition. And now really all I care about is who's the next person I'm going to be helping. So it's definitely a dramatic change.
Wow. Okay. And then, okay, so now you kind of wake up and you discover you have this
talent, ability, sight,
this
vision.
gift. Right. And how did you start? How did you start the whole healing thing? Was it just casual? People were around, and
yes. So it started by things that I saw in photographs, family members and friends, and I would see these things in photographs, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what is that? And then I would kind of notice that it was communicating with me, and then I would notice that some of them are nice and some of them are not nice, and so I started trying to convince the not nice ones to leave the innocent people alone, type of thing. And when I started noticing that I was successful in doing that and that I saw that people were getting better after I did that, that's when I realized that, wow, I should be doing this for more people.
Wow. Okay. When you recognized that it was not a positive energy, did you feel fear or were you empowered just to do your part?
Unfortunately, at first, I was so unscared that I was a little reckless. And so I didn't really protect myself properly, and it brought in a lot of other things around me. So with time, I realized that, you have to protect yourself, and there's certain measures you have to take, and this is not a joke. It's not playground, So I learned my lesson, and I know what I'm doing now, finally. Thank goodness.
Right.
To protect myself.
Isn't that just the way of the process? For all of us who are discovering our gifts, there is the discovery. There's so many steps into it. Just figuring out something to do with a gift is can be quite a process in itself.
This is so true because for a while I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like, am I a psychic medium? Am I a healer? Like, am I a channel? I didn't know what in the world I wanted to be. And you just kind of grow into your strength. You see what you're best at and what makes you most comfortable and what you have to work the least at. What comes most naturally, I suppose.
Right. And now, So do you feel like you're in constant connection with guides?
Yes,
So are you in communication with them at all times?
at all times. Sometimes I have to say, like, not now, or, let's talk about this later, or let's go back to this later. But it can be as much or as little as I want it to be.
Right. Right. And then, okay, so for each client that you have, then do you specifically talk with their angels to get information? Is that how it works for you?
It just depends on the person, because not everybody is so spiritually inclined, and so I like to look at the photograph and then kind of come to my own conclusions, talk to the person, see where they're at with their spiritual connections, and when I actually do the healing, I guess when I distance travel to that person and we do actually do the healing, that's when I start communicating with the guides to ask, like, hey, this is your person. Like, if you'd like to help out, like, now is the time, type of thing.
Right. Okay. So distant travel. Let's describe what that is.
Well, some people call it astral projection, distant travel. It's basically an out of body experience whereby you leave your physical body, and you, as your higher self, or as your spiritual light being self, travel somewhere else, to another place, and to do work.
That's right. That's great. As soon as I had heard that you were an astral traveler, I said, "Oh, we don't have to do any pre-interview. Do this just fun." Can you tell me about
Can you repeat the question one more time, because you broke up for just a second?
how far have you traveled? Have you gone all around the world helping?
Oh, absolutely. I've gone to Africa. I've gone to Ireland. I've gone to some wonderful places. You mean spiritually, right?
Right.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
In your healing.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
because I have also been able to travel the world in such a way, and I have actually gotten validation because, like 6 years after I had been to Australia, I was shown through video where I had been, and it was exactly how I'd seen it. So it was very cool, so even 6 years later, to get validation of what I had seen and done.
The validation is such an awesome part of the experience. I love it as well.
It is a gift because I don't always get to see it. Sometimes you do, sometimes I don't.
Right.
So when I do, boy, I am so grateful, and it just shoots me into the. I want to go to the next bigger playground.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, one of the coolest validations I received, I astral traveled. It's to a friend in the same city to help him out with some issues he was having. I went to his room, and I noticed that it was really messy, and I was able to describe the pants that were on the ground, and also there was a book that I was getting energy from this book, and when I was finished, I said, "What is this book?" And I was able to describe the shape of it and what the cover looked like, and it was on a topic that I didn't necessarily resonate well with. So
Oh, wow. Yes. Because absolutely, that book has exactly the energy of its words.
exactly.
Wow. Okay, so tell me some of your tell me about some of your healings with the pets. Now,
Pets.
is that a whole different ball game there?
I really don't think so. I mean, I see pets the same way I see humans. I mean, spirits, entities, they attach to pets, they attach to objects, they attach to humans, and to me, it's not any different, because it's this very similar chakra system, very similar energy system, and so to me, it's almost pretty much the same thing.
I bet at times it might be even easier because they're not fighting it.
This is correct. They don't fight it, and especially when I've healed animals in person, it's such a lovely process, because at first you can feel them, they're a little scared, but then when they feel your hands on them, they just adopt this sense of comfort and knowing that they're getting better. So that's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Right. Right. Well, now how are you working your gig now? How did you get that whole thing rolling?
Well, it basically started. I guess from nothing. So I built a website, got my online store going, got a Facebook page, started putting myself out there. And even still, I think for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to be offering free consultations. I've got a limited number per day, but you can go on my booking site and book them. And that doing these has really like kind of opened a lot of people to my gifts, and it's allowed me to really share what I do with a lot of people, which has been great.
Right.
And word of mouth and word of mouth and the reviews, that's really how you get yourself out there.
Right. Right. It seems that in this world of service, the ones who need to see us find us.
Yes, I totally believe that the people who I'm meant to work with will find me.
Right, right. And the same goes with my show here. Every day I ask, well, who would you have on next? And sure enough, somebody will either call me or their name will light up or something. And so there is a level of knowing who you are when you have these kind of gifts. Have you done have you done past lives? Have you seen how this correlates with what you're doing now?
I have looked deeply into my past lives, and I've been shocked by what I found. Extremely shocked with what I found. Some of it tragic even, but
Can't even talk about it. It's so tragic. It sounds like a sad story, but
it is a sad story. But then I guess every time you come back, it puts you in a position where you're more ready to become, the next level of you.
We have a glitch. Just wait a minute. She'll call back. Here, come on, Sheila. Oh, sorry. This is the producer, Rachel Love, making the talking here. Sheila, we lost your video.
Okay, here we go. Got it?
She's back.
It's back.
Okay. So should we go ahead?
Yeah, I didn't stop it. You're still going.
So in this time where vibration is changing and all this energy is coming in, how are you taking that? How are you adjusting to it?
I think that a lot of people are overplaying it a lot. I think that there's a lot of over exaggeration and apocalyptic fears, and there's going to be a blood moon and we're all going to like die in a massive earthquake type of thing. And I find some of that humorous, to be honest with you. And so, energy comes to different people at different times. And and if this is a huge wave for a lot of people, they call it the fifth dimension ascension. That's one thing. But I just really believe that just more people are being exposed to something that's always been here, right, and always will be. Uh-huh. That's my personal belief.
So do you feel yourself becoming clearer? Do you feel yourself changing as you keep practicing your gifts and all?
Absolutely. I've become more empathic. I've become more compassionate. I've become more kind. I've become more accepting. And that's just something that I'm very proud of, because that's the kind of person I really want to be. And the more I love myself, the more I'm able to love others.
Right. Well, that is like one of the first basic steps to awaken all those gifts that we have. And do you not agree that we all have some gifts? It's just a matter of time before we recognize them?
Yes, it was so funny. Even my mother yesterday, she says, I think I'm psychic in some ways. She said, I lost something, and then I just had a picture in my head of where it was, and I found it in the hot dog container or something random like that. I said, of course, Mom, we all have we all have gifts. So, and she's someone who never would have thought about any of this stuff, ever before I brought it up. So,
well, I'll tell you what, that is what the foundation of Heart Talks is a safe and supportive place to tell your story and share your gifts, because we aren't crazy after all. No. This is real, and we are really changing the world with everything that we've got to share.
And I think that's a wonderful point. I think, and this I talked to Rachel about this on the interview too, but I think that part of our duty is not just to defeat darkness, but to heal darkness. We shouldn't be viewing this as a war. We should be viewing it as a process to heal the earth and to heal the people that are here.
Absolutely. Well, what a joy to meet you and talk with you. And let's tell people again what they can do to be in touch and maybe have a reading and a healing from you.
Absolutely. The easiest way to find me is www.zetalinehealing.com. So that's ZETALINE and then healing. All of my social media is linked there. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Google+. I have a Facebook page. I have a social media press kit. I am all over the web. So on those sites, you'll also find a way to book these free consultations I've been speaking of. So I'm pretty much, if you can remember Zetaline Healing, you can find me.
Well, I'm going to post that under our interview over at all those places that you just talked about. And and hopefully some people will feel comfortable to connect with you, or even begin to realize that they too are waking up to these gifts that they have, and that there are a lot of us who've got them, and these are safe places to talk about them. So
absolutely. Could I add one thing?
Yeah.
My process is extremely intricate and detailed. So this is not something where I'm just sending love and energy over to you. These are very intricate and detailed healings. So if you have something that you know, even anything from cancer to different chronic conditions, chronic pains, there is no condition that I won't attempt to treat or that I would turn down. So whatever's going on.
Even emotions.
Even emotions. Yes, ma'am.
If you're stuck in a sad story, I mean, those things can be healed
Absolutely.
And let go of. So, well, how wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
And good luck with your business. I know that all who belong to you will be with you. So
thank you so much.
Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed today's show. I've got a lot of great guests coming again this year. So with that, from my heart to yours, namaste.
And namaste to everybody as well.